We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world. We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Star Trek Voyager 7's Reckoning, Issue 1 of 4. This is a miniseries from IDW in 2020, written by David Baker, illustrated by Angel Hernandez, colored by Ronda Pattinson, lettered by Neil Uyetake, edited by Chase Moritz. I have cover A by Angel Hernandez, colors by Charlie Kirchoff. The cover's really good. I thought it was pretty solid pinup, but it tells you nothing about what's going on, which is unfortunate. So we start off with some sort of flash forward foreshadowing. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Then we learn that the starship Voyager has encountered a giant alien craft, and it's like nothing they've encountered before, and they beam an away party over there because they can't understand this automated message that's being put out. And what they find is what appears to be an alien species that is cryostasis, and there's nobody alive to run the ship. And all the cryotubes they find seem to be feeding to one specific area to support that one, so if their cryotubes fail, this other one will survive. And that's when they awaken by accident one of the leaders, but they won't talk to any of the plebs, only the captain. So by the time Janeway gets over there, a bunch of them are already awake, and they begin to assist with repairs on this ship because there's a problem with the warp core, and they do so in exchange for some supplies. Seven is working closely with this creature named Grebe, and they sort of become kind of friendly, and she learns that this species is focused on chronicling. It's not a ship, it's a part of their story, and their story is what matters. And there's this long, complicated storyline, but it looks like there's a lot of growing resentment between two class factions. It looks like it's a very caste-heavy society where there's a ruling class and an underclass. Overall, it was a pretty good story. It looks like something interesting is going to happen. It is the usual class warfare crap, but it's done pretty well. I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it was a pretty entertaining story. The art's okay. I expect it to be a lot worse because the first couple pages are a little rougher than the subsequent ones. The aliens look kind of generic, but overall, I thought it was a pretty solid story, and I'll check out issue 2. So I would recommend it. I thought it was pretty fun, and like I said, I'll check out the next issue, and if the next issue doesn't sell me, then I'm going to quit. It's only 4 issues. Is it worth $4? No, not really. It's worth about 2. So grab it out of a bargain bin, and then you'll probably feel like you get your money's worth. There's a lot of talking in here. Some of it's over explanation, but if you've never seen Star Trek Voyager, it does a pretty decent job of giving you the broad strokes of what's going on. That being said, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel in other ways, links to my Streamlabs, Patreon, and Teespring store are in the description. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Star Trek Voyager 7's Reckoning, Issue 2. This is a 4-part miniseries from IDW, written by Dave Baker, art by Angel Hernandez, colors by Ronda Pattinson, letters by Neil Uyetake, edited by Chase Moritz. I have cover A by Angel Hernandez with colors by Ronda Pattinson. Cover's pretty good, actually. It does relate sort of to what's going on, but not as much as I would like it to. Again, we open with a sort of mental gymnastics thing. I think this is some sort of thought pattern that's going through Seven's head when she dreams or something like that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to be relevant to the plot. So after that waste of space, we move on to Seven helping these aliens to fix their ship, and they need parts from the bridge. You know, Seven had seen the body that was up there, and she sees that there's some sort of ritual to dispose of him, and what they're doing is separating the limbs and putting them in sacred places or something like that. And we're learning that there's a lot more division among the crew than was originally apparent, and it's heating up too. Grebe is talking about rebellion against the overseers, which are the Khazar, and he's a member of the Vesh, which are slightly different species. One's more of a slave race because once upon a time they were in charge and they ruled with an iron fist, but there appears to be a little bit more to it. The Khazar have another motive for why they are keeping the Vesh at bay, and that gets revealed, and it's actually really interesting. But the plots are heating up, and it looks like there's going to be a confrontation. This was a nicely paced issue, very fast paced, pretty fun issue. We get to see a lot of Seven's internal dilemma as to what she's going to do and how she's going to get involved with this, if at all, because she's mostly stuck in the middle. The Voyager needs the materials from these aliens, and the aliens need her help, but she is definitely going to get caught in a mini rebellion if things keep going the way they're going. So it's a pretty interesting story. There's a lot of talking, but it's mostly plot driven. I don't really care about the part with Tuvok and Janeway. That was a little boring, but overall very nicely paced, interesting story. It's very story heavy, not a lot of action, but it does work for what they're trying to do. This will probably be better in trade paperback, but I am enjoying it, so I'm going to keep reading it. So I'll recommend this. You don't really have to have read the first issue. They do sum up enough that you're going to be fine with reading just this issue, and that's really nicely done. It's a smooth transition, so I was real happy about that. So if you come across this, I'd say pick it up. It's worth reading if you're a big Star Trek fan, or if you just want to read some interesting sci-fi. That being said, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel in other ways, consider donating $1 a month to my Patreon, where you'll get exclusive access to videos every week from both this channel and Roll for Sanity, or you could do a one-time donation through PayPal at Streamlabs. Links are in the description, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Star Trek Voyager 7's Reckoning, Issue 3. This is a 4-part miniseries from IDW, written by Dave Baker, art by Angel Hernandez, colors by Ronda Pattinson, letters by Neil Uyetake, edited by Chase Moritz. I have cover A by Angel Hernandez, with colors by Ronda Pattinson. We start off with the same spread of the Voyager and a flashback, sort of like fantasy thing from 7, before we jump right into the action. The rebellion is in full swing as the Vesh attempt to overthrow their leader in the narrative, and they all want to be the Dawnbringer and write their own story, etc., etc. Well, Greb almost surrenders before is taken away by 7, and a secret chamber is revealed, and a dark secret of their species is come to fruition, and it looks like the rebellion isn't quite over, but we have a cliffhanger ending. The story definitely jumped into the action in this one, but it feels a little disjointed because we were just formulating that at the end of last issue, and now we're in the middle of the action. So it's a little bit of a jarring experience, and this whole thing with the secret probably should have been revealed before the action, but whatever. It does work for the story. I just think it was a little disjointed. It still functions though, but I don't really know where they're going with this, but it's definitely going to be wrapped up next issue. It was an okay story. I don't think it's worth $4 though. This is bargain bin material, or grab the trade paperback for half off somewhere, and then you'll probably get more out of it. The art's alright, the aliens look pretty good, 7's recognizable. Same with the other characters, they seem pretty recognizable to the TV show, and for IDW, it's decent art. It's better than Dynamite. It's still a little bit rigid, but I think the artist has potential. Just needs to work a little bit more on flexibility, I guess, and anatomy for the humans, because they look a little rigid. A little work on that needs done, but aside from that, it was an interesting issue. Like I said, it's a decent miniseries, but it definitely isn't gonna bring the normie crowd in. I think this is aimed more at hardcore Star Trek fans. I just don't know enough about Voyager because I hated the show. But if you're a Voyager fan and you're a 7 fan, you'll probably like this. But I would definitely get it in trade paperback as a collected volume and get it cheap. Aside from that, if you grab it out of a bargain bin, I'd say go for it for like $1 or less, but it's really not worth $4. Still not a bad read. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. Also, share the video around. That helps the channel out quite a bit. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, links to my Patreon, Streamlabs, and Teespring store are in the description. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Star Trek Voyager 7's Reckoning, Issue 4. This is written by Dave Baker, art by Angel Hernandez, colors by Ronda, Pattinson, letters by Neil Uyetake, edited by Chase Moritz. I have cover A by Angel Hernandez with colors by Ronda, Pattinson. Cover's pretty good. It does get you to buy it. I think it's the best of the three covers, but the figures do look a bit rigid. So we find out what happened after the events of last issue. 7 was injured, but the Doctor was able to put her back together again. We get this rather long-winded conversation between Janeway and 7, mostly the usual sort of Star Trek stuff, prime directives, blah 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 rules. Then 7 goes back to the ship to find out that several of the rebels have been killed, and that the leadership does kind of blame her for some of this, but she still has a job to do. She manages to get their warp drive working again, and we learn the final fate of Grebe. Now, the ending does have kind of your standard Star Trek ending. It's an okay issue. If you pay attention, they do resolve a lot of the dangling plot threads pretty well. It just felt a little short, but it's actually pretty well paced, and that's really what I was seeing. Thought it was a pretty decent ending. It was going to be kind of hard to wrap this one up in a satisfactory ending in 4 issues, but it wasn't bad. I wouldn't pick it up in trade paperback, but if you find it real cheap in trade, that's probably the best way to read it. I don't think I'd pay more than $1 a piece for the issues. Again, I don't think that it's really worth the cover price, but it's not a bad interpretation of the characters unless you're a diehard Voyager fan. If you're just a casual Star Trek fan like myself, you'll probably get something out of it. And it is some of the better storytelling because no Neelix, and I don't like Neelix, so that was a big plus. But if you're a big Star Trek Voyager fan, you may or may not like this, I'm not sure. That's another reason I would say get it cheap. But if you're a casual, normie Star Trek watcher, you'll probably get entertainment value out of this, but I don't think it's worth $4 a piece. And the trade paperback's definitely not worth paying more than half the regular price for it. So I thought it was a decent story. It just was a little unsatisfying because it was short and it could have had more depth to it, but I didn't hate it. Thought it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it for the most part. It just could have been a lot more interesting if it had had a few more issues to kind of expand on the story. But for what it is, it's not bad. It's just not worth the cover price. So grab it out of a discount bin and read it that way. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. And if you'd like to help the channel in other ways, you can make one-time donations through Streamlabs. You can support me monthly on Patreon, where you'll get exclusive videos, or pick yourself something up nice from the Teespring store. In the meantime, though, we hope to see you on the next one.